Anji, good afternoon, Dr. Dimple.
Good afternoon, Dr. Nirmal.
So, what is our order of talk?
So, Dr. Suresh,
पहले आप करेंगे, डॉक्टर सुरेश करेंगे. हेलो.
Dr. Suresh,
अभी
please tell.
हाँ, यस सर, पहले है ना मैडम का ही है.
पहले डॉक्टर सुरेश की है.
नहीं
सर आपकी है पहले.
नहीं, पहले डिम्पल मैडम की है, फिर रीचा की है, लास्ट में मेरी है सर.
अच्छा, लास्ट में.
आई एम द कवरिंग कैंडिडेट.
ओके, ठीक है.
सो धनदीप सर, प्लीज रीचा को ज्वाइन करवाना, वो मीटिंग रूम में.
इसमें शेयर कैसे करना है यार?
शेयर स्क्रीन आ रही है.
शेयर कैसे करना है इसमें?
स्क्रीन पे लगे.
या शेयर स्क्रीन है ना सर, नीचे आ रही है. इफ यू कैन सी द थर्ड वन पार्टिसिपेंट्स, देन चैट के बाद शेयर.
ठीक है.
दैट शेयर स्क्रीन.
इसमें शेयर स्क्रीन पे जाके क्या करना है? इस पे क्लिक करना है.
सर जो भी आपकी स्क्रीन है, क्लिक ऑन दैट.
पीपीटी नहीं है, मेरे को फोल्डर खोलना है.
स्क्रीन शेयर करनी पूरी कंप्लीट करनी है सर, ऐसे बताइए.
ठीक है.
So first, so with permission of organizing team APAN 56, shall we start?
Yeah, please, Dr. Suresh.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Very good afternoon to all of you. So first of all, I'm very thankful to organizing team APAN 56 for providing me this opportunity to conduct this session, natural product session, on the topic regulatory aspects of herbal drugs. Thank you very much, all of you joining in this session. I'm very thankful and welcome to Professor Nirmal Singh ji, former head Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Drug Research, Punjabi University, Patiala, being chairperson of this session. I also welcome the main speakers of the day, Professor Dr. Dimple Sethi Madam. She is Professor of Pharmaceutics. She is working in the field of natural products. She is working on drug delivery systems, nanotechnological aspects related to natural products, and she is taking today the topic on herbal quality control of herbal drugs. And the second speaker of today's session is Professor Dr. Richa Madan. And she's also working in the field of pharmacognosy, natural products, and she is delivering a talk on regulatory perspectives of herbal drugs today. And she will be covering the comparison of herbal regulations of different countries, developing nations and developed nations. And the third session, third talk will be taken by me on intellectual property rights of herbal drugs and various issues associated with IPR of herbal drugs and solutions to them. So all in all, without wasting my time, I request Professor Nirmal Singh ji to kindly initiate the program, to start the program, and allow us to allow the speaker to deliver their invited talk. Thank you very much, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh. Good afternoon, everyone. Team APAN 56. Indeed, it is my great pleasure to chair this session, comprising of some great speakers and on wonderful topics. I would like to read brief profile of our first speaker, Dr. Dimple Sethi Chopra. Dr. Sethi is presently working as associate professor with the pharmaceutics specialization in Department of Pharmaceutical Science and Drugs at Punjabi University, Patiala. She has a lot of experience and a lot of highly qualified candidate. She is a graduate and postgraduate from University Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Punjabi, Chandigarh, and she did her doctorate work under late Professor Manjeet Singh in 2010 at Department of Pharmaceutical Science, Punjabi University, Patiala. Her research areas include development of herbal wound dressings for burn injury. She has published a large number of research papers in national and international journals of high repute, and she has been granted 2 Indian patents on brain permeable nanoparticles. She has guided several MPharm students and doctoral students for their research work, and she is also a member of various societies, including very prestigious from American Nano Society. Her present area of interest include green nanotechnology, molecular nanotechnology, targeted drug delivery, nanobiotechnology, and nanomedicines. She has presented her work at several national and international conferences, and she has recently edited a book published by IGI Global, Strategies to Overcome Superbug Invasion. She has several open access peer-reviewed book chapters to her credit. She is on the editorial board of many international journals, and she is invited manuscript review of many international journals like Drug Discovery Today, Journal of Nanoparticle Research, Drug Delivery, Caesar, Open Access Rheumatology, Research and Reviews, International Journal of Nanomedicines, Drug Design, Development and Therapy, and many more. She has actively participated in APAN 52, 53, 54, 55, and now presenting her work in APAN 56. So she'll be delivering a talk on quality control of herbal drugs. Now I would like to invite Dr. Dimple Sethi Chopra to please take over and deliver her wonderful talk on quality control of herbal drugs. Madam Dimple Chopra Sethi, please.
Thank you, Professor Nirmal. Thank you for such a nice introduction to the audience. I'm highly grateful to you, sir. I am grateful to the TEMDEC chair, Professor Kumutsu. Warm greetings to you, sir. Professor Suresh, Dr. Handi, and the topic of my talk is quality control of herbal drugs. I hope I am audible and my slides are visible.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Okay. Quality control of herbal drugs is a very upcoming topic. What are herbal drugs? Are my slides moving? Herbal drugs are those which are derived from plants, or the plant parts are converted into various phytopharmaceuticals by simple processes like harvesting, drying, and storage. The status of herbal drug, it finds a unique mention in traditional Chinese
Dr. Limba?
medicine.
Sorry, can you change to slideshow mode?
Slideshow mode, okay, F5.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Fine.
So herbal drugs, as I've already introduced, they are derived from plant parts and we consider them to be very safe. We think they are wonder drugs, they are miracle. And they found a lot of mention in our traditional system, traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, and Japanese medicine as well, Unani and Siddha. So that is what is there in the Asian subcontinent. Whereas in United States, they are very popular as dietary supplements, but no industry is permitted to give any claim onto the dietary supplement for any curable effect. Herbal drugs, there is a currently there is a lot of upsurge in herbal drugs, but safety is very important because recently there have been many adverse effects. So WHO has drafted several guidelines for quality control of herbal drugs, and the whole market on herbal drugs is rising. By 2050, it is expected that the herbal drug market will be $5 trillion. And in every country, we find that the herbal medicine or traditional medicine, they find a use. There are, of course, many success stories, but there are certain adverse effects which were life-threatening, and therefore the quality control of herbal drug is of prime importance. Herbal medicine. Herbal medicine can be developed into various formulations, the conventional ones like tablets, capsules, granules, even into topical products, like you must be having some anti-aging cream with wonderful effects. And there are certain novel drug delivery systems as well, like nanoparticles and nanocapsules being developed. And the promising area is they have got very good results in anti-cancer treatment, diabetes, inflammatory diseases. Now, quality control of herbal drug, principally what it is. We go in for some organoleptic evaluation by an experienced herbalist. He or she identifies the plant material from the color, odor, taste. That was something which was conventional or traditional. And it is a very inexpensive method of identifying a herbal drug. If you want to authenticate it properly, recently DNA barcoding is being carried out. And that is the accurate method for finding out the quality of the herbal products. Of course, there are physical parameters as well, like ash value. Ash value is when you incinerate the whole of the drug product, you remove the whole carbon from it. If there is a very high ash value, this means your drug is contaminated. Similarly, you have acid insoluble ash value to remove the interfering substances. And what else you can do? You can dissolve it in various solvents. You can find out these are the water soluble materials, and the limit should not be less than 10%. In the case of ginger, the most commonly used herbal remedy for cough and cold, which was used enthusiastically during COVID-19. And you can identify the quality and purity of the drug by using various solvents, and various limits are given in the pharmacopoeia. Pharmacopoeia are the standard textbooks. Like we have a United States pharmacopoeia, we have a British pharmacopoeia, and we have an Indian pharmacopoeia. And of course, various pharmacopoeias are popular in various countries. So the limits are mentioned for various herbal drugs in these pharmacopoeias. Now, when you are doing extraction with the solvent, this is what you follow. You extract it with a given quantity of drug, you stir it, you filter it, and then you put it on a water bath, heat it in a muffle furnace, and then you dry it. So many steps are involved in a very simple test. And this you can easily carry out in a small scale lab. You need not use high investment lab for this. Secondly, moisture content is very important, because more the moisture, more is the contamination from microorganism, and the chances of decomposition are very, very high. The moisture content should be controlled in most of the drugs like ashwagandha. It should not be more than 12%. Similarly, another important parameter is melting point. For a phytochemical, the melting point is fixed, but for a crude drug, it might have a range. The amount of volatile oil is very important for those drugs which are used as flavoring agent like clove, lemon peel, etc. Now, the plant material, because it is extracted from the soil, it might have contamination from other plant parts or neighboring plant parts or some soil material. The foreign material, the rule of thumb is it should not be more than 2% according to various standards. Of course, for every drug, every herbal drug, there is a fixed information in the pharmacopoeia. A range is given which we should comply if we want to have a healthy, safe, efficacious herbal drug industry. Now, heavy metals. The plant material is contaminated with heavy metal, especially cadmium, arsenic, lead, copper. So in the starting cultivation of the plant material, it is very important to check these heavy metals in the soil, in the water, because whatever you are cultivating, that may get incorporated with these heavy metals. And what are the various methods by which there might be some color test, but you can go in for chromatographic methods, high order methods to find out the contamination from heavy metals. And they might cause some acute toxicity. Of course, we all know about acute toxicity of arsenic in fish. And they might cause some chronic toxicity, like they might get deposited in your bone as lead. It replaces calcium in our bones and causes bone weakness. So the strategy which is being followed to prevent heavy metal contamination is, right from the starting, the cultivation stage, one must control the contamination of heavy metal so that in the final product, the manufacturer can claim that my product contains the pharmacopoeial or complies with the regulatory limit for the given herbal product. Now, there are some pesticide residues also found in various plant parts. Usually what the cultivators do, they change the pesticide, but that is not the answer to the question. Either you should use some some pesticides which are plant-based, or the amount of pesticides in the herbal drug product should be reduced. The chlorine and phosphorus present in the pesticide is bound to organic molecules, and they cause a lot of contamination in the final product. And these are the various tests. Permissible limit is it should not be more than 1%. These are some of the pesticides like chlorinated hydrocarbons. We have organophosphate phosphorus pesticides, and pyrethrum, to mention a few. These pesticides, the quantity should be very less in the final herbal drug product. Another important parameter is microbial contamination of herbal product. If the moisture content of the herbal product is high, the chances of microbial contamination is more. So the plant material should be harvested under acceptable hygienic condition. If you don't start with low microbial count, you cannot end up with a final product with low microbial count. So pre-treatment of the herbal material, because herbal material, it is grown in the soil, so contamination chances are more. These are the microorganisms which are commonly found in herbal drugs: E. coli, Salmonella, aerobic bacteria, enterobacteria, which causes GIT disturbances. And in the finished product, they have given these limits. In the crude product, these are the limits. So one should do test for microbial contamination of the herbal drugs so that we meet the good manufacturing practices guideline of the various regulatory agencies. Some research papers have found that those herbal products which are sold in these markets, they are frequently contaminated with these microorganisms. So these are region-specific microorganisms. So in these markets, no doubt, the herbal products are very cheap, inexpensive. But if you start with the wrong raw material or a contaminated raw material, you're going to surely end up with a highly contaminated raw material and side effects in future, even toxic and life-threatening effects. So the conclusion is most of the herbal formulations have been found to contain pesticide residues, phototoxins contaminated with cormorants, microbial contaminants. So what we must do? We should limit their contamination starting from cultivation stage so that in the final product, we are having a very low amount as per the regulatory guidelines. We follow good manufacturing practices even for herbal products. Thank you so much for your patient hearing. Any questions? Hanji.
So session is open for queries. If anyone is having query, kindly ask the question. I have one query, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
All these contaminants, toxic residues, pesticide content, heavy metals, these all toxic residues should be estimated in raw material first, or should be in the last after formulation of herbal medicines?
So in my opinion, or in whatever research articles I have gone through, it should be first done in the raw material. And then it should also be complied with in the final formulation. Both is very, very important.
Yes. Because I think it's my submission, if we will not go for estimating the content of toxic residues in raw material, then at the initial stage we can remove all these toxic residues. But once the formulation is prepared with the raw material with higher limits of these toxic residues, then it will not be easy to
Yes, yes,
to limit the so that it should comply with the standards.
yes,
I also feel, sir, the same thing. At the purchase of raw material, we can have slight residues or whatever is required, maybe more. But before processing for the formulation, if some washing is done or something is done, then the checking should be done.
yes, yes. That is very important. That is what we are highlighting over here.
It's really a good talk from your side, ma'am, and very informative, thought-provoking, and eye-opening. So I request Nirmal sir to kindly have remarks on this session, and we'll move to another session. So over to you, Nirmal sir.
And Dr. Dimple, uh, it was wonderful talk that you delivered. You touched various aspects of quality control of herbal drugs and what are the various processes and what are the various steps which can be exercised as far as quality control of a herbal drug is concerned. So thank you for your wonderful talk and wonderful information that you provided to the listener of this conference. So let us move to, thank you very much, Dr. Dimple. Now let us move
Thank
to
you, sir. Thank you, Professor Nirmal.
So our next speaker is Dr. Richa Madan. I'm facing some issues regarding sharing my slide. So I would like to read out wonderful profile of our speaker, Dr. Richa Madan. Dr. Madan is working as a professor in Chitkara College of Pharmacy, Chitkara University, Punjab, India. She has done B.Pharm. She has done B.Pharm from MD University, Rohtak. M.Pharm from Punjabi University, Chandigarh, and her doctoral program from NIMS University, Jaipur. She has a very vast experience of 21 years of teaching and research. Her research area includes exploring traditional plants for various pharmacological activities and role of natural polymers, gums and mucilus as a pharmaceutical excipient in the drug delivery. One of her research work on isolation of natural molecules from plant sources is appreciated by SAMI Laboratories, Bangalore. She has guided 6 postgrad students and 5 doctoral students, and 4 are pursuing under her wonderful supervision. She has published over 50 research articles and filed 8 patents. She has authored 1 book entitled Textbook on Herbal Drug Technology and edited 1 book entitled Herbal Bioactive Based Drug Delivery System. She has delivered many invited talks in different national and international platforms, and has chaired various technical sessions in different national and international conferences. She is life member of various national and international societies like IPGA, APTI, SOPI, and Society of Pharmacognosy. She'll be delivering a talk on regulatory perspectives of herbal drugs. Now I would like to invite our speaker, Richa Madan, to please deliver a talk on regulatory perspective of herbal drugs. Dr. Richa Madan, it's over to you now, please.
Yes, a very blissful good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Nirmal Singh sir, for giving a nice introduction of mine. First of all, I want to thank organizer for giving me opportunity to speak in front of you. And I'll be giving talk on the regulatory perspectives of herbal medicines. Let me share my slide first. Yes, I am. My slides are visible.
Yes, it's visible and you are also audible.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. As we know that Ayurveda, naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and folk medicine are the major healthcare system in the Indian society, which fully depends upon the natural resources, particularly plants. For millennia, people traditionally played an important role in the management of biological resources and were custodians of related knowledge that they acquired through trial and error over centuries. In the last few decades, eco-friendly, bio-friendly, cost-effective, and relative safe herbal medicines have moved from fringes to the mainstream with increased research in the field of traditional medicines. So let's talk about the concept of the herbal medicines first. As per the WHO, herbal medicines includes herbs, herbal material, herbal preparation, and or finished herbal products in the form suitable for the administration of the patient. And herbal medicines include the raw plant material, processed plant material, and the medicinal herb plant material and medicinal herbal products. WHO also provide guidelines for the assessment of herbal medicines for the evaluation of quality, safety, and efficacy of the herbal medicines. Now, coming to the global scenario, if we'll talk about the role of herbal medicines in economy, and WHO essential list mentioned 252 drugs, out of which 11% are exclusively of plant origin. The market size of global herbal medicine product was $151.91 billion in 2021, and it is exponentially growing at the rate of 11.16%. And the global COVID-19 pandemic has been unprecedented and staggering, with herbal medicine witnessing higher than the anticipated demand across all regions compared to the pre-pandemic level. Approximate 70% export from the herbal sector comprise raw material, and 30% consist of finished product or the herbal extracts. Indian share in global herbal export is less than 1%. From last 2 decades, the use of herbal supplements has anomalously increased in US. In US, the herbal remedies are regarded as the dietary supplements. As per this study, Germany is the single largest market in the Europe, and in China also the herbal medicine account for 30 to 50% of the total medicinal consumption. Then coming to why there is a need of herbal regulation. Herbal medicine have been increasingly used worldwide during the last 2 decades, as we have seen in our previous slides. But unfortunately, the number of reports of patients experiencing negative health consequences caused by the use of herbal medicines, related side effects, related side interactions, drug-herb interactions, they can't be ruled out. One of the major causes of reported adverse effect is linked to the poor quality of herbal medicines, including raw medicinal plant material. The regulatory issues which is related to the herbal medicines are: number one, lack of research data and the research funding, lack of expertise and insufficient personnel with the national health authorities, adulteration of herbal medicine, lack of appropriate mechanism of control of herbal medicine. In some countries, herbal medicines are not considered as medicine. They are coming as your nutraceuticals, or you can say dietary supplement as a component of food. Lack of education and training. So these are some of the regulatory issues with the herbal medicine. Now, next will be the challenges in the regulation of herbal medicine. First is the lack of knowledge about the herbal medicine within the national drug authorities. This is the major problem in the creation of legislation, laws, policies, and regulations governing herbal medicine, traditional, complementary, and alternative medicine. Second challenge is the standardization. Herbal drugs generally fail to meet the standards due to various problems, like difficulty in the authentication and identification of the plant, geographical variation, seasonal variation, genetic variation. They also can't be ruled out. Variation in the growing condition, processing of the extract, difficulty in the selection of marker compounds. These all are the contributing factors which make the standardization of the herbal drug difficult. Then is the safety challenges. In some countries, botanical products are marketed as dietary supplements, and evidence of quality, efficacy, and safety of these products is either not required before the marketing. Other countries treat the preparations as drugs, but quality test and production standards are less rigorous or controlled. The safety of the traditional and herbal medicine has therefore become a major concern of both national health authorities and the public. Then is the quality. One of the major problems in assuring the quality of herbal medicine is that they do not contain the single ingredient. They contain complex and the different chemical constituents. So reproducible efficacy, safety of the herbal medicine are based on the reproducible quality. Quality assurance is also essential to take adulteration of metals, as discussed by the Dimple ma'am, that heavy metals, pathogens, aflatoxins, pesticides, etc. They make a quality process of the herbal medicine difficult. Then is the clinical trial challenges. Herbal medicines are a complex mixture of constituents, and this complex mixture is a major challenge for the clinical trial. Batch to batch variation in a final product is a bit challenging. Then pharmacovigilance challenges. There is a general concept that herbs are natural, so they are completely safe, and the people are consuming safely without prescription of physicians, which leads to disappointing side effects. So large-scale awareness of people is needed to develop pharmacovigilance practices for the herbal medicines. Now I'll be discussing regulations of India, US, China, European countries, and Japan. Now coming to the Indian regulations. In India, herbal drug products constitute a major share of the official recognized system of India: Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy, and Natural. The regulatory agencies are mainly ICMR and the CSIR, and the acts are Drug and Cosmetic Act and the Central Council of Indian Medicine, that is IMPC. Herbal remedies and medicinal plant to be incorporated in the modern system must follow the drug controller, that is the DCGI regulations. The Ministry of Ayush is the regulatory authorities which ensure that the manufacturing license has been obtained by the industry before manufacturing and the marketing of the herbal products. The role and responsibility of Ayush are to develop education and research in Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Siddha, and homeopathic system, monitor the quality of the drug, establish the pharmacopoeia standards, maintain the laboratory standards of FLAME, that is the Pharmacopoeia Laboratory of Indian Medicines, frame the safety and efficacy regulations for licensing patents and proprietary herbal medicine, and to look after the functioning of the Indian Medicinal Pharmaceutical Company Limited. Now, with the advantage of IPR issues, Ayush also digitalized the traditional medicinal formulation after the turmeric issue, neem patent issue. Then what they did, they have documented all the traditional knowledge in a library called as TKDL. It is a database containing codified literature from the Indian system of medicine. So in short, all the governing bodies, that is Ayush, CSIR, ICMR, work together to achieve the safe and effective herbal products for identified diseases and also help in the development of new drugs. Till 13, India did not have any guidelines for conducting clinical trials for the ASU drugs. In March 2013, Ayush publishes good clinical practices guidelines for conducting the clinical trials for the ASU drug on the human subjects. Next, US regulations on the herbal medicine. In the US, herbal medicine come under the category of the complementary and the alternative medicine, that is the CAM approaches, and these practices include aromatherapy, yoga, acupuncture, meditation, etc. The total share of herbal medicine in the US pharmacopoeia is 59%, and around 1,000 of herbal medicine are available OTC and commonly used by patients in the US. In the US, herbal medicine are considered as botanical drugs. Botanical drugs are the ones which are finished and labeled, and they contain plant-derived ingredients. According to the FDA and CDER, Botanicals are combination of plant material, algae, macroscopic fungi, and do not include products that contain animal or mineral components. Genetically modified products, fermented products, they are not coming under your botanical. According to the Federal Food and Drug and Cosmetic Act, a botanical drug product is classified as food, a drug, medical device, or cosmetic. In the US, herb is described as dietary supplement. So, by the DSHEA Act, the DSHEA was introduced in October 25, acknowledging millions of consumers believe dietary supplements provide health benefits, but they should not make, they are not claiming for the diagnosis, curing, and mitigating for the illness as the drug tools. The Center for Drug Evaluation and Research is a regulatory body under the FDA, which provides guidance for the botanicals or herbals or the natural drug products, and also differentiate between those drug products that could be marketed as the OTC and ND. And here's the new drug application. The manufacturing and the marketing of herbal medicines are regulated by the State Food and Drug Administration. In the United States, most of the herbal medicinal products are either available in the market as dietary supplements under the DSHEA Act. Under this act, dietary supplements can be produced, sold, marketed without submitting any safety and efficacy data as is required by the pharmaceutical drug. The manufacturers are responsible to ensure that the herbal medicinal product is safe and does not possess any risk or claim to cause a particular disease or disorder. CDER established the Botanical Review Team in 2003 and published its first guidance for the industry, Botanical Drug Product, in 2004. In 2016, the team revised and published the draft on the guidance for the industry, that is the Botanical Development. This BRT provides guidance on the quality, clinical trials, clinical and other unique aspects of the botanical drug development. Since the publication of the first draft on botanical guidance in 2004, more than 400 botanical products filed investigational new drug applications to the Office of OND at CEDR for the clinical investigation. But till now, only 2 NDA have been submitted and approved for marketing botanical drug, and the 2 are basically Varigin, which is composed of cyanic catechins from the green tea. It is a topical drug for the treatment of genital and preanal warts. And second approved NDA from the botanical is Fulicas, that is made up of chemical crofelemer. This crofelemer is a molecule which is extracted from the bark latex of Croton lacheri. It is found in South America, and it is basically works through the 2 separate channels associated with the chloride and the fluid secretion in the GI. Now, coming to the European regulation, in order to ensure the safety and efficacy of herbal product in Europe, the European Union has there is European Medical Agency plays a significant role. The various in European legislation, there are various directives. The Directive 2001 EC features the definition of herbal substances or preparation, registration procedure, availability of herbal monographs, essential list of herbal substances, preparation, and establishment for the committee for the herbal medicinal products. This committee is responsible for identifying the important herbal preparation or substances to be covered by the monograph or a list entry. The major concern of the European Directive 2004/24 EC is that herbal medicine lose its recognition or position in the market as the company fails to meet the full requirement for marketing authorization, particularly in terms of efficacy as explained in Directive 83. After establishment of the European Directive in 2004/24 EC in March, traditional herbal medicinal product was developed. A simplified registration product procedure for herbal medicinal products which have a long tradition of medicinal use, or at least 30 years, including 15 years in the European Union, facilitate free movement of these products. So it means if the drug has been, the herbal drug has been using in the European Union for the last 15 years. So it has attained the efficacy and the safety issues, the safety parameters. In case the herbal product meets all the requirement of the directives, but its usage in the European Union is not satisfied, the health authority can refer the product to the Committee on Herbal Medicinal Products. Then HMPC compiles and assess scientific data on the herbal medicinal product to support the harmonization of the European market. In European market, basically there are three categories of the product of the herbal product which are available. First category is the traditional medicinal use provision, or you can say traditional use. This category of the herbal drugs are accepted on the basis of sufficient safety data and plausible efficacy. So it means they are basically used traditionally and they are having 15, or you can say more than 15 years of the safety and efficacious data. A product can be classified under well-established medicinal use provision, that is well-established use which is demonstrated with the sufficient safety and efficacy data. As a result, the product is granting a marketing authorization by the member state or by the European Medical Agency under certain conditions. Third category of the herbal medicine include the product specific safety and the efficacy data, in which a company will file a full dossier specifying all the parameters of your herbal medicine. As a result, the product is granted a marketing authorization, a member state, or by the agency via the centralized position. Means in this full dossier, that is a CTD comprising of your 5 modules. If we file that, we get our application approved. Then our product in that list will be considered as a product specific safety or the efficacy data, or you can say full dossier has been applied on. Now coming to the Chinese regulation on the herbal medicine. In China, Chinese herbal products are governed by SFDA and can be registered as functional food or drugs. Regulatory approval of functional food is the responsibility of Department of Food License, whereas the herbal drugs, Chinese herbal drug is controlled by the Division of Traditional Chinese Medicine and Ethno-Medicine under the Department of Drug Registration. The drugs in China cover not just chemical drugs, but also traditional medicine. According to the SFDA, the definition of drug in China is any article which is used in the prevention, treatment, and diagnosis of the human disease. But they should include the Chinese flu drugs, prepared slices of Chinese flu drug, traditional Chinese medicine preparation, chemical drug substances, their preparation, antibiotics, biochemical drugs, radioactive pharmaceuticals, serum, blood products, and the diagnostic agents. So in China, herbal medicines are included along with the chemical entity as a drug. According to this provision, TCM refers to the medicinal substances and their preparation used under guidance of traditional Chinese medical history, whereas the natural medicinal product refer to the natural medicine substance and their preparation used under the guidance of modern medicine. So in China, the supervision on TCM in China is strict, so that chemical drugs and the biological products, registration of TCM is subject to strict technical evaluation and the clinical trial. Safety data are compulsory to the TCM that demonstrate historical use may have partial application data exempted. Now coming to the Japanese regulation. In Japan, Kampo is the Japanese traditional medicine which is based on traditional Chinese medicine. Although Kampo has its root in China, but it is a product of Japanese culture and experience. Chinese medicine was first introduced to Japan in the 4th century. In Japan, the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare is the regulatory agency which regulates the herbal medicine under the Pharmaceutical Affair Law. Pharmaceutical Affair Law is a documented national laws and regulation on traditional medicine, and its purpose to regulate matters pertaining to drugs, quachy drugs, cosmetics, and medical devices in order to ensure their quality, efficacy, and safety. Depending on the medical claims, herbal medicine may be approved as prescription drugs or the OTC. Prescription drugs have to be produced according to the official quality standard as required by the law. As for the Japanese OTC drugs, they are divided into Japanese traditional medicine. Kampo formula is basically a mixture of some herbs, phytomedicine, and the multivitamin preparations. Herbal crude drugs combined with chemical drugs were also accepted subject to quality, safety, and the efficacy test. Now, in conclusion, I should say the regulatory status of herbal medicinal product vary from one country to the another, as we have seen. There are the different regulatory aspects of Indian, US mark for the US regulation, European regulation. So this makes difficult for the free passage of such products. The European regulations are the most comprehensive one as compared to the regulation in India and the US, and Indian regulations are still developing or at the very nascent stage. As we have studied, the definition for traditional herbal remedy in some country, they are considered as food supplements, while in some country they are considered as medicines and require a full product license. Although herbal medicinal products are being used since ancient times, but the basic research program need to be established to focus the safety, quality, and efficacy of the herbal medicinal products. Regulatory authorities of the different countries adopt diverse approaches for licensing, manufacturing, import, and export of herbal medicine. So it is the responsibility of the herbal industries to comply with each regulation of their countries. So if they want to export and trade their herbal medicines to the overseas market. So finally, it is concluded there is a need of the global harmonization of the legislation and associated standards to provide quality, safety, efficacy herbal medicine for the benefit of human health. So being a national product scientist, my recommendation on this regulation of herbal medicines are: the more emphasis should be paid on the well-controlled and the randomized clinical trial to prove the safety and efficacy of the herbal medicines. So herbal medicines should also go for should also be covered for the clinical trials. And there is a need of improvement in the process of regulation and the global harmonization. Also, there is a need of proper usage of a well-established scientific data and the monographs. Thus, the need to set global or regional regulatory pathway for regulating herbal drug seems obvious. There should be proper pathway through which the pharmaceutical companies can report adverse reactions, interactions caused by herbal medicinal drug products to the competent authorities, so that database can be maintained. The consumer and the healthcare professional should remain vigilant for the potential interaction between the herbal and the prescription medication. The safety and the quality of the herbal medicinal products should be ensured through research, pharmacovigilance, regulatory control, and the better communication between the patient and the healthcare professional. There is a dire need to include herbal medicinal products in the existing national pharmacovigilance system or the introduction of pharmacovigilance strategy in the curriculum of herbal medicinal products. So these are some of the references which I have referred. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Echab, as already said that increased demand of herbal drugs has created pressure on regulatory authorities of different countries to have stringent regulations on herbal medicines, just like as of synthetic medicines, allopathic medicines. So this is a very informative and interesting talk, once again, also eye-opening. So, and session is open for queries. So if anyone is having query, can ask here.
So, Dr. Richa, it
Yes,
was a
sir.
wonderful talk. It was a
Thank you
wonderful
so
talk
much, sir.
that you delivered. Thank you very much for your wonderful, talk and enlightening us about various aspects of regulatory perspectives of herbal drugs. You touched almost, all important things like what is the global share of herbal drugs, what is the need of regulation of herbal drugs, and you touched on regulatory issues and the status of regulation of herbal drugs with respect to Asian countries, US and the European Union. And finally, you conclude that there is a need for global harmonization as well as
Yes, sir. Yes.
regulatory issues of the herbal drugs are concerned. So overall, it was a wonderful talk and very nice information that you have provided us. Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you so much,
Chamadan.
sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I think let us move to our next speaker. Our next speaker is ma'am, please unshare your slides, Dr. Richa.
Just wait.
So our next speaker is Dr. Suresh Kumar. Let me. Okay.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Sir. Shall I
Wait,
start, sir? Okay.
Dr. Suresh Kumar is a postgraduate and a doctoral in pharmaceutical sciences with specialization in pharmacognosy. He did his master's in pharmacognosy and a doctoral from University Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Punjabi University, Chandigarh. He has worked at various positions earlier during his starting the career. He worked as a scientist at NPRD division of Patiala Biotech Limited. So Dr. Suresh is having over 21 years of teaching and research experience. Presently, he is working in the Department of Pharmaceutical Science and Drugs at Punjabi University, Patiala. He has guided over 40 postgraduate master's students, and over 5 PhD candidates, and currently 2 candidates are pursuing PhD under him. He has published more than 100 research articles in journals of high repute, international and national publications. He has wonderful publications. In addition to, he has also authored a book, Herbal Drug Technology, for undergraduate students. He has given more than 100 invited talks in different platforms of national and international levels. He has chaired more than 75 various technical sessions in different national and international conferences. And he has organized over 30 conferences, webinars, workshops, and being secretary of Association of Pharmaceutical Teachers of India, Punjab chapter, and Noble in charge, Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat campaign initiated by the Indian government. Dr. Suresh has successfully completed 3 major research projects funded by various funding agencies. He has invited by Universal Research Foundation as keynote speaker in Goa and Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok. He has served as core committee member and treasurer of 69th Indian Pharmaceutical Congress. He is a recipient of various prestigious awards, including Bharat Gaurav Puruskar, Eminent Pharmacology Scientist Award, Dr. P.D. Sethi Memorial Annual National Award, and many others. He has research interest in plant drug standardization, phytochemistry, pharmacological studies on traditional plants, especially in CNS depressants, anti-diabetic, and anti-psoriatic. Dr. Suresh worked on developing method for isolation of pure curcumin from mixture of curcuminoids, was highly appreciated by Samuel Waters, Bangalore, India. He is life member of many prestigious associations, including Association of Pharmaceutical Teachers of India, Indian Pharmacy Graduate Association, Punjab Academy of Sciences, Inform Association, Indian Pharmacology Society, Society of Pharmacology and Society of Ethnopharmacology. And he is editor of special issues of Frontiers in Pharmacology, Neuropharmacology, and review editor of Frontiers of Pharmacology, Ethnopharmacology. Dr. Suresh has worked and is working in various positions, from nodal in charge Ek Bharat Shresh Bharat, nodal officer AIST, coordinator AIST PG scholarship, advisory committee member, sophisticated instrument center, Punjabi Patala, perform duties, member board of studies in the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Bahara University, Solan, Solan, Chitkara College of Pharmacy, Department of Pharmaceutical Drugs, Punjabi Patala, Pharmacy, IKG, Technical University Kapurthala, and is also the panel of reviewers of various national and international journals, and also a member of editorial board of Journal of Pharmaceutical Technology, Research and Management, and Journal of Applied Pharmacology and Phytochemistry, Friend in Pharmacology, Friend in Natural Products. So, very wonderful profile Dr. Suresh is having. So I hope he will be delivering a wonderful talk as well. So the title of the talk is IPR issues, that is intellectual property right issues with herbal drugs. So without much delay, I would like to invite Dr. Suresh for his talk. Dr. Suresh, it's over to you now, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for very nice words from me and very comprehensive biodata you have read for me. Thank you very much, sir. So hope I'm audible to all of you, and my presentation, this screen is visible to all of you. So I have chosen this topic, IPR issues with herbal drugs. So here we'll cover what is actually IP and IPR, intellectual property rights, and what are the issues, challenges with the herbal drugs to get IP, intellectual property. Moreover, we'll find some solutions and some laws, acts which have been enacted to have to solve these issues. So before jumping directly to my topic, being natural product scientist, it's my duty to sensitize all of you towards the natural products. So just see the nature's beauty here. These are two plants, bichu booty and bitter dock. This bichu booty plant, both plants you will find you can find in Himachal Pradesh on roadsides in India. If you come in contact with bichu booty, it can make you cry because this is contact allergen and it can cause rashes to your skin. But see again nature's beauty. Another plant which is growing near to this plant is bitter dock, Rhemus obtusifolius. If you take the juice from the leaves of this plant and you apply on the rashes caused by bichu booty, you get relief immediately. So one side, nature is curse for you. On the other side, nature is giving solution to you. So this is my faith in nature. If nature is curse for you, solution will also be obtained from the nature. So start feeling just about the natural product and have faith in natural products. Another example I'm giving here of Actaea acuminata. This is Himalayan bunberry, and I have worked on this plant material. Just see the beautiful berries of this plant. But these berries are very poisonous. If we consume half of this berry, this can lead to death. But on the other hand, roots of this plant have medicinal value. They have significant CNS depressant properties. So again, this is nature's beauty. One part of the plant is poisonous, other plant is a medicine. It's another nature's beauty, and have faith in nature's natural product. So I'll move to the topic. I come to the topic, intellectual property. So intellectual property that pertains to any original creation of the human intellect, maybe artistic, literary, technical, and scientific creation. I'm talking about scientific creation here. Intellectual property rights, that these are the legal rights which are given to inventor or creator to protect and utilize his or her invention or creation for a given period of time. Generally, scientific creation is given for, invention is given for around 20 years. Yeah, this is the major problem. Nature cannot be patented. Anything in the nature that has been given by the nature cannot be patented. So patents cannot be granted for non-obvious inventions, those known already, documented, traditional knowledge, and those occurring in the nature. Say, I give one example of that. Suppose I have isolated one component from the plant material, a new component from the plant material. That component cannot be patented because that is present in nature. Yes, the process involved in isolation of that component can be patented. So any human act involved in that can be patented, but whatever available in the nature cannot be patented. Another, no new use of a non-substance, frivolous inventions, not having any serious purpose or value cannot be patented at all in case of herbals. So what we can patent in herbal, patents are grantable for processes that show improvements than known already. Better extraction process I have applied, better dosage form I have made, stable formulations, better taste, aroma, processes that can give plant with higher yields, processes that involve biotechnological interventions that improve bioavailability, that provide synergies, antagonistic activity, processes for standardization, fractionation, isolation, and also patents are grantable for products formulation that are novel combinations, that show synergy, antagonism, novel combination with the pharmaceutical aids that show inventive steps, addition of new perfume, flavor, stabilizer, penetration, enhancer, or also uniquely standardized to provide specific quality. Those are responsible for activity. That is the ratio of components. So these can be patented. So any human act, any human creation that improve the invention, that can be patented. But whatever available in the nature cannot be patented at all. So what are the existing loopholes in IPR of traditional medicines? The first one is traditional knowledge is mostly not available in written form, because we have the traditional knowledge and that pass generation to generation. It is not given in scientific form or written form. If available, is difficult to interpret because it is available in the local languages. Suppose in Himachal Pradesh or in Tamil Nadu or in other state of India, someone is having a knowledge, traditional knowledge, that this plant is having this type of activity. And that is written also, but written in his own language, in local language, so difficult to interpret or maybe not available to all. So that is a major problem. Another is the biopiracy. Patents are granted to those who are traditionally not owner of this knowledge, leading to conflict in trade interests of the parties involved. Biopiracy is the major problem issue with the IPR for the traditional medicine, for the herbal drugs. Again, the case I have. Suppose someone is having the knowledge. So a small village, a person has a knowledge, traditional knowledge of some drug. And his parents, his further parents to parents, they were using this medicine, traditional medicine for some purpose. And that is effective also. And the information passed from one generation to another generation also. By chance, I went there, I got that information, I worked scientifically, validated the information, traditional knowledge in my laboratory, and got the patent without giving any benefit to the person who is having this knowledge. So actually what I am doing, that is a biopiracy. And this is a major problem, major issue with the traditional medicines. Large-scale exploitation of bioresources because of the profit maximization by the patentee. If I get the patent, I will try to exploit the bioresources. And that is basically the major problem with the this is the existing IPR problem and issue with the traditional medicines. I'll quote some examples of patent issues. The most commonly well-known patent issue example is turmeric patent issue. As we know, turmeric is being used from Ayurvedic system of medicine in India for wound healing property. But in May 1995, US Patent Office granted patent on use of turmeric in wound healing to the University of Mississippi. As turmeric is related to our spiritualism, and the patent is obtained by University of Mississippi. And this information that turmeric is being used as wound healing for wound healing property from Ayurvedic system of medicines, we have this knowledge. But the patent is granted to University of Mississippi, and this then Dr. R.M. Mashelkar, an Indian scientist, he's a CSIR director also, he was that time. So immediately took a step and requested US Patent Office to withdraw this patent because we have this knowledge. We have traditional knowledge that turmeric is being used as wound healing for wound healing property. But the US patent said, we don't have any scientific report for that. You give me the scientific report, some written document, so we'll revocate this patent. Then he worked very hard, and finally he got one reference that is in ancient Sanskrit text. This is given here, Sanskrit text, where turmeric haldi is used, haldi paste is used, is applied basically on umbilical cord while during childbirth. A wound is there in umbilical cord, and turmeric paste is applied on that wound for the treatment. So this was published in Indian Medical Association in 1953. He presented this reference to the US Patent Office, and finally turmeric patent was revocated after 2 years in 1997. So this is one of the cases of the biopiracy, where the traditional knowledge is being taken by University of Mississippi and taken the patent, which is a traditional knowledge of India. Similar examples were quoted here, like patent use of turmeric, pine bark, and tea for treating hair loss. And some other examples also we have. The patent were taken by another country, but the traditional knowledge of that was the traditional knowledge of India. So this was the biopiracy cases we obtained. Another case I want to quote here, that is of the neem patent issue. Actually, in 1971, a timber importer from US imported neem seeds. He planted neem trees there, conducted efficacy and the safety testing for its pesticidal properties. And this neem is being used as pesticidal from long time in India. Even some products are also prepared in India, manufactured in India, but that was not the scientific validation of neem biopesticidal activity. So the person got clearance from US Environmental Protection Agency also, and he sold the patent to a multinational corporate company, W.R. Grace and Company. So the company got the patent, European patent of this. So the company claimed rights for the pesticide emulsion of neem material and started suing Indian companies for making such emulsions. So small Indian companies which are making emulsion of neem for this property, pesticidal properties, and another company, W.R. Grace, who got the European patent, started suing the Indian companies. So later on, it was claimed by India that neem, an indigenous product, is in practice as a form of the traditional knowledge. So based on the evidences presented later on, the patent was revoked in May 2000. So this is another case of biopiracy. So finally, Dr. R. Mashelkar suggested to the government, why not we should have some traditional knowledge digital library so that we can protect our traditional knowledge. And finally, in 2004, the work was started to make a traditional knowledge digital library, and in 2006 it was made. This library was made, and India has signed TKDL access agreement with some official patent offices, European Patent Office, Australia, Germany, US, UK, and Canada nowadays. Another the issue with sharing the benefits to the indigenous communities. That was the issue with the herbal medicines IPR issue, loophole with the herbal medicines, herbal products. So some objectives of Convention on Biological Diversity's law were made, and main objectives were to conserve biological diversity, to provide appropriate access to this resource to the utilization. Yeah, this is very important, to respect, preserve, and maintain knowledge of indigenous communities, and also to encourage equitable sharing of benefits to indigenous communities as stakeholders. That means who is having this traditional knowledge should be given the benefits of the traditional knowledge. The one person who is validating the traditional knowledge getting the whole benefits, that is not acceptable actually. So there are some examples where equitable benefit sharing was done, as with the Kani model of benefit sharing. Kani is basically a small tribal community of about 25,000 people on the Agastya Hills in South Kerala in India. So Tropical Botanical Garden and Research Institute, TBGRI, so they obtained knowledge from the medicinal about the medicinal properties of a plant, that is Trichopus zelenicus, from the Kani tribe in 1987. And they developed a medicine from that information. That was the Jeevni, a polyherbal product, and obtained a process patent for the same. Later on, the institute commercialized the product through Arya Vaidya Pharmacy, Coimbatore. But the royalty given by the institute to the Kani tribe also. 50% was shared of the royalty with the Kani tribes, from whom they get this knowledge. So this was the equitable benefit sharing, and the act is there now for to promote, to encourage this equitable benefit sharing with the societies, with the tribes from where we are getting the traditional knowledge. We have another example of sand people from South Africa. Sand people chew stems of cactus, that is Udia gordonei, to suppress hunger and thirst during long hunting trips. And CSIR scientists isolated and patented active ingredient P57 without the sand people's knowledge and license it to the phytofarm in 1995. But after 3 years of negotiations, because act is there, and CSIR finally agreed to share the profits with from anti-obesity drug with sand peoples. So that law is there, that act is there, and that is very important, so that the due benefits should be given to the societies, to the tribes from where we are getting that traditional knowledge. Yeah, another act is enacted, that was medicinal plants and plant varieties protection. Because I told you that exploitation of medicinal plants, that is another loophole with that, and we have solution for that, and one act is made for that. Another IPR law which has relevance for the medicinal plant in the protection of plant varieties and farmers' rights act 2000 was enacted, and this was enacted to provide for the establishment of an effective system for protection of plant varieties, rights of the farmers, plant breeders, and to encourage the development and cultivation of new varieties of plants. The act helps to stimulate investment for research and development to provide new plant varieties. Yeah, this was another important act which was required to overcome, to have a solution for the loopholes, problems, issues with the IPR of herbal drugs. So here I'm giving some comparative data of uses of herbals of different countries. So in India, Europe, US, China, I have selected these 4 countries. And if you can see here, in India, new use of herbal drug is not allowed for patent, as per Section 3 of Patent Act 1970. What is patentable is NDDS, new drug delivery system, synergistic combination, that can be patented. In Europe, again, new use is not allowed. But in US and China, new use of herbal drug can be allowed for patent. And formulation is allowed in US, new use, second use of a non-compound is allowed in China, or medicinal use inventions in the Swiss format that may no longer be a claim in Europe. There are some special guidelines for processing of patent applications relating to traditional knowledge, and we should follow these for traditional knowledge, basically for herbal drugs. Claims related to extracts, alkaloids, or isolation of active ingredients of plants which are naturally inherently present in plants can't be considered as novel. I already told you, if you isolated a new compound, a phytoconstituent, this is not a novel invention and will not be granted patent for that. Another is the combination of plants. Known therapeutic effect with other plant, wherein all plants are previously known for treating the same disease, is considered to be an obvious combination. Patent cannot be granted for that. As suppose I'm taking one plant material and it is well-known immunomodulator. If I'm mixing another plant material to that, and I'm saying this is a new combination I have made, this is obvious combination. I'm mixing Vidania somnifera with the Ginkgo biloba, both are immunomodulator, so we'll get the immunomodulator activity of the plants. So cannot be granted patent. A non-phytoconstituent, if already known for the treatment of a disease, it creates a presumption of obviousness that a combination product with it would be effective for the treatment of the same disease. If I know a phytoconstituent, this phytoconstituent is seen as represent. If I'm mixing some other constituents to that main constituent, phytoconstituent, so I know I will get the same treatment. I will get the same effect from the constituent. Cannot be patented. Discovering the optimum or workable ranges of traditional known ingredients by routine experiment is not inventive, not at all. So it cannot be patented. Single component of a combination, if multiple ingredients are known to have same therapeutic activity as per traditional knowledge, taking out one single component out of them cannot be considered inventive. Suppose in Ayurvedic system of medicine, we have 7 raw materials or 10 raw materials mixed together for some activity. If I take one raw material out of these and I'll say this is having the same activity that 7 compounds, mixture of the 7 raw materials are showing, that is not an inventive step. There is no novel invention, cannot be patented. So we have to take care for these guidelines while we are processing for patent in herbal drugs. So we have covered various issues and solutions to the natural products. How we'll get the patent. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Patient listening to me.
So thank you, Dr. Suresh. Indeed, it was a very, very interesting and knowledgeable talk that you delivered. You have enlightened the audience with various aspects or issues related to intellectual property rights of herbal drugs. And indeed, you covered various aspects like how these IPRs can be obtained, patent can be obtained, as well as herbal drugs are concerned. Under what are the categories which are patentable and what are the categories which are not patentable. You have also discussed various loopholes, and that is supplemented by some very good examples. Indeed, it was a wonderful talk, and you did mention as far as solutions, some debates and issues are related. So you provided some solutions related to IPR conflicts as well. So it was wonderful talk and it was wonderful session. I would like to thank all the speakers and the organizers of this session. Like to thank Dr. Dimple, Dr. Richa Madan, Dr. Suresh, Dr. Dhandeep, who has looked after this internet facilities, and APAN team, entire APAN team, APAN 56. So thank you very much, and looking forward to similar kind of sessions in future as well. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to chair this session. Thank you very much, one and all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. First of all, really thankful to all the speakers here, including me also. So, moreover, all the speakers stick to their time schedule. That is important. And I will be failing in my duty if I'll not appreciate the hard work of Dr. Dandeep Singh. He made all the arrangements so that the organization become very smooth. So thank you very much, sir. And now I request our Yukiko Izada Temdek to have their views on this session. Final concluding remarks on this session.
Okay, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, this is Tendek team from Sri Lanka.
Okay.
This, as you know, this program is holding in the APA meeting. So thank you again to make this program very excellent one, and really I'd like to show my sincere appreciation to all speakers and the chairs and the organizers. You guys, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We can end.
So nice of you, and God bless all. Thank you.
So take a leave. Stop. Thank you.